We're here at Kirk County High School today in Prineville, waiting for Senator Ron Wyden to show up to yet another town hall meeting. One of the things the resort is bringing back is the iconic bears that sprayed water in the middle of the pools. Those will be available in the 7 new pools that they'll be installing. Bowl games are football fans' favorite time of year, particularly college football fans. And as you can see behind me, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of Ducks fans and whatnot. According to the U.S. Secretary of State, more than 24 Americans have been killed so far in the Israel-Palestine conflict.
People would call me like monkey or the N-word or black boy.
Gavin Alston is going into the 5th grade as a student at M.A. Lynch Elementary in Redmond. Last week, he told Redmond city councilors about the racism he's experienced in the community.
Some people would call me gorilla or Japansy.
With Gavin's family, we've been working with him since December on some of these issues, so we were a little surprised to see this come out publicly.
All we want to do is just bring light to let people know that it's going on and it's not right.
That was the first experience we have experienced here. When we first moved here, was when my daughter was being called the N-word, and then every time she'd walk past a certain buddy, they would make monkey noises at her.
In December, Gavin's parents notified school officials that he was being bullied verbally. Gavin received counseling at school, but says the racial slurs did not stop.
The crimes are less here, but the racism is bigger here. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but it makes sense because there's not a lot of black people here anyway. And then most of the black people that's here, they just passing through. And then once they find out that you're living here, then it goes from, all right, to what is he doing?
It's a pretty common part of being in school. Students have to learn how to behave in a civilized way, if you will. We have harassment issues with really all races at one time or another, and it's about helping people learn how to get along and learn how to work with other folks.
This year, the Redmond School District had implemented curriculum for students aimed at discouraging bullying and harassment.
Character Strong is a curriculum that really works on emphasizing character traits, you know, things like empathy and courage and that sort of work. We usually do kind of a monthly work on that. Students are acknowledged for their great work.
It was 10-year-old Gavin's idea to speak in front of the Redmond City Council after a racist note and dead raccoon were left outside the law office of Mayor Ed Fitch earlier this month. In doing so, he has earned respect in the community.
That's just a huge thing for a 4th grader to do. So we're all really proud of him, and we really want to be able to work with all families and create that inclusive environment that we strive for, and that's part of our mission statement.
I felt great because everyone was like good speech and was shaking my hand, and I just felt good about it.
The city plan began with crews putting barricades in place at 5 a.m. on Hunnell and Clawson roads.
Honest journalism is dead.
By 7:30, 3 men were holding up crosses behind the barricades.
There's nothing preventing you from coming over those barricades.
Where do you guys plan to go?
And get at the place. All they want to do is push it to the 24-hour push and shoves.
Our quick count Tuesday morning found at least 100 people living on Hunnell Road with at least 24 RVs. By 9 a.m., 2 tow trucks from Consolidated Towing were taking away broken down vehicles and campers. RVs, trailers, and vehicles will be held by the city on private land for up to 30 days, where people can pick them up by proving ownership. As for the waste left behind, a team from Central Oregon Biosolutions was there with gloves and garbage bags. They were throwing away tents and debris from some who had already cleared out. Where are you going after this?
I have no idea. Probably go see my daughter in Spokane, is where I'm guessing. Yeah, somewhere out of Bend, that's for sure.
At some point, once the city picks a date and time, that is the date and time.
Monday, a judge ruled in favor of the city cleanup going forward. Homeless advocates had filed an injunction trying to stop the sweep, claiming it violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. 23 people were granted a 1-week extension and are required to be out by Monday the 24th. An outspoken advocate, who goes by Smokey, did get the extension.
I have terminal cancer and I have a heart condition. I'm dying. I don't have time to waste on it.
On Tuesday, the city was tagging RVs and camps occupied by people without the exemption. About 10 Bend police officers were on hand, but for the most part, residents complied as the city moved forward with the cleanup that was announced on June 21st. And the city of Bend did confirm to us that the cleanup will take at least a week. After that, Hunnell Road will close for repaving, and after that it will reopen. As far as campers that might return, the city did say they're ready for that, but there will be 24-hour enforcement on the back end after they've done the cleaning on Hunnell Road. In Bend, Blake Mayfield, News Channel 21. Bob is taking the spotlight. In this case, Bob stands for Big Obvious Boulder. Bob is a 2-ton rock made entirely out of lava that currently calls the parking lot to the Franklin Avenue 7-Eleven home. Bob the Bend Rock was initially placed here on this curb a decade ago to prevent people from driving over the curb and ruining ADA access. But in the past few months, 8 cars that entered the parking lot from Franklin and 3rd Avenue have fallen victim to Bob.
Because believe it or not, the small rock was too small, but it was heavy enough that they would blow my curb out at the same time.
Larry Freeland is the property manager of the complex where Bob resides. Freeland explained how Bob landed there.
So I took the smaller rock and discarded it, told the gentleman with the backhoe, go find me a big rock. Well, 2 blocks away, there's a big pile of rocks.
And the rest is history.
Being in Bend, we need to adopt a rock.
At the Pine Tavern restaurant, Bend's oldest, they'll give you a free drink or meal if you've fallen victim to Bob.
I think that if your car ends up on the rocks, you come down to the Pine Tavern and I'll give you something on the rocks that'll put a smile on your face. Just bring a picture of the devastation.
The owner of Mid-City Smashed Burger, located at the Waypoint Hotel, is also offering free food to anyone with evidence of getting stuck on Bob.
I think kind of everyone has the same wonderment and questions, like how does this happen? How does this happen? It's hilarious that it happens. So it kind of brings everybody together in the community. It's all something we can laugh about and joke about.
In just 1 week, Bob has had more than 5,000 people join his Facebook page and is also listed as a tourist destination on Google Maps. Just like Mountain Bachelor, Pilot Butte, and Blockbuster before it, Bob the Rock is now synonymous with Bend. Bob was moved forward a few inches this week to prevent future drivers from getting stuck on him. At Bob the Rock in Bend, Blake Mayfield, News Channel 21.